tonight is Sunday, so we are getting ready to make a Sunday dinner, and we are going to switch it up tonight and do Chinese for dinner. So I'm going to show you how I make my honey chicken. So first I'm starting off with 3 chicken breasts that have been cut just down into bite-sized pieces. Then we're going to make our batter that they get dipped in. I've got my oil heating up over here. I'm just frying mine in vegetable oil, but you could fry yours in whatever you want to. So this is flour, about 1.5 cups, about 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and then about a tablespoon of garlic powder. And I just stirred those together, and then to this we're going to add water just until we get a thick batter. About the consistency you want, about like a pancake batter kind of consistency. I'm just going to try to get the last of those lumps out of there, so I probably used maybe a little bit over a cup of water. But this is the consistency that you're going for. So just nice and thick like that. And then all we're going to do is our oil is good and hot. We're going to take these little chicken pieces. We're going to dip them in that batter, get both sides covered. And then we're just going to drop it into that hot oil. And these are going to cook for about 7 minutes or so until they're completely done through and the outside is crispy, and then I'll come back. Now, with our honey chicken, I am going to be making a lomein, or at least my version of lomein. So all I've done as far as prep work is I went ahead and cooked my udon and got it drained, and then I blanched my stir-fry veggies that's going to go in it. If you can't find udon, you can just use spaghetti noodles. It turns out just as good. I've done it both ways. Alright, I've got my very first batch done. This is what it should look like whenever it's done cooking. So your breading's not going to get super dark, but it's going to be nice and crisp on the outside. Like I said, these are going for anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how big the pieces are. If you want to temperature check yours, chicken should always be cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you want to use a thermometer just to be safe and make sure you've got it done, you can definitely do it that way. I've got this on a cookie sheet because I'm going to have to cook this in batches because I have so much. So in between batches, I am just keeping this on a paper towel lined cookie sheet in an oven at 175 just to keep them nice and hot, because you want them to be good and hot whenever we toss them into our honey sauce at the end. Okay, well my chicken is finishing up. We're going to go ahead and mix up our honey sauce. So it starts with 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. Okay, so that's roughly 1/2 cup. It overflowed on the side, but there's our 1/2 cup mayonnaise. Then 1/4 cup of honey. So I'm just going to keep using my 1/2 cup measuring cup and fill it halfway. That way I'm not dirtying a bunch of different dishes. There's that. And the last thing is 2 tablespoons of sweetened condensed milk. It's probably 1 and 2. So all we're going to do is whisk this together really good. And then whenever all of our chicken is done, we're going to toss it in that right before we serve. Okay, so we are on our last batch of chicken frying over to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting my lo mein sauce going. That's 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and then 1/3 cup of soy sauce. I'm using the reduced sodium, but you can use whatever kind you prefer. I'm just going to take a whisk and kind of mix that together. Then we're going to add just a couple of tablespoons of water. Now, I'm going to cook this until it comes up to a simmer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a thickener. And our thickener is right here. It's 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 1 tablespoon of water. And just mix together. So once this starts to simmer, I'm going to throw that in, whisk it, and then we will toss in our noodles and vegetables. Alright, it has started to simmer. So now I'm going to take and just stir this in. And now I'm going to go ahead before this gets too thick and toss in our udon noodles and our vegetables that we cooked earlier. Or your spaghetti, whatever you're using. Woo, it's really sticky. And now we're just going to stir them and get everything coated really well in that sauce. And let it cook until all of that thickens and gets nice and sticky. Chicken is officially done. It is now time to toss it in our honey sauce. The hot chicken on top of that honey sauce. And then I cleaned off my cookie sheet that I had them on because I have so much chicken. It's going to be easier just to mix it on here. And I took that paper towel off that I had underneath. I'm going to have to get a silicone spatula. Okay. So I'm just going to try to get all of this sauce out and spread over the top of this. And then we're going to take our little strainer that I was frying it with, and I'm just going to toss it around like that. But you just want to make sure that you get all of the chicken evenly coated, because you don't want to have a piece that has no sauce on it and then some that have a lot. But that is it. That is how you make honey chicken and lo mein.